Hello! Welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by to listen to my little Preptober update and explain where I've been for a while. Now, to get a little background, the story is a little ironic because every other NaNoWriMo, I usually decide pretty last minute that I actually want to do it, and then I scramble to outline just as much as I possibly can before November 1st. And so I was actually really proud this year that I decided I wanted to do NaNoWriMo this year about halfway through September and was already starting to flesh out some ideas and start my outline. And I was like, I will have the whole of October to plan. I'm going to be so ready for NaNoWriMo. And then here we are with the explanation that I have to give today. So at my college, I live in a dorm. It is college housing, and so it's run by their housing department. But my situation is there's 4 of us that have our own individual rooms, but we all share like an apartment space, so we all share a lounge and a kitchen, and 2 people per bathroom. The beginning of October, I filmed my first Preptober video. I had plans to do more throughout the month and keep updated. I mentioned in there that I wanted to do Preptober outlining on Monday and Friday and keep up with my normal writing throughout the week and sort of space that out and try and get in the habit of writing every day as sort of training for actual NaNoWriMo. But then a few days after I posted that video, one of my roommates, apartment mates, tested positive for COVID-19. She got it from work, so it was through no fault of her own, but when it was reported, the university's procedures are to yank all of us out of our apartment and put us into separate isolation rooms. We were all to get tested and stay in isolation for a full 2 weeks. My university has like a hotel on campus that is used for parents visiting, but also serves as a hotel for the community or for the students, and that is where they've put up all the isolation rooms currently. So a whole section of that is dedicated to people who need to go into isolation for COVID-related reasons. And so they called me that night that she tested positive. They called each one of us and told us to pack a bag and that we had to be out and into one of those hotel rooms, moved in an hour. So I left and I went to a hotel room and I was there for 2 weeks. I tested negative and never developed any symptoms, but the procedure is that they have to keep you in those 2 weeks no matter what. So I was just stuck in solitary. I wasn't allowed to leave the room, and they would bring meals to me every day based off of a selective menu. I'm back now, and my roommates are all happy and healthy. We're all back in our apartment space. I've been back for about a week now, but that experience in isolation was really hard. I struggled to have motivation to really do anything. Hence the explanation, didn't get much writing done. I didn't even touch my NaNoWriMo project the whole time. I barely wrote for my bi-weekly posted short stories, and essentially those whole 2 weeks were just a hole in October. Now that I've been back for about a week, I'm trying to get more into it, but even recovering from the experience has been a struggle in trying to get back into writing. So my outline for my NaNoWriMo project is about where it was at the beginning of October. It hasn't really progressed. So now that NaNoWriMo is a week away, I'm feeling the pressure like I did every other year where I'd be scrambling to finish my outline just in time. Obviously, I didn't film or post any videos in isolation. I brought my camera just in case, but I didn't have the motivation. I didn't have much to film about because I wasn't writing, and also just the hotel room space wasn't a good environment to try and film things. The lighting wasn't very good, and I struggled to keep the place tidy as I went because I just didn't really feel the point since I would be packing up and leaving in a couple days anyway. And so I just didn't film anything, and the plan was to get as much possible done as I could when I got back. So I have plans for videos that I'd still like to try and post before NaNoWriMo. One of them is a project announcement, a NaNoWriMo announcement. I haven't even touched the website yet, but I would like to sit down and explain a little bit about what I plan to work on. I had planned to do that much earlier in October, but I was waiting on getting a lot of the main details and the main events in the book hammered out so that I would have a clear idea of what I wanted to share, what pieces of the plot were relevant. But since I don't even have those main details yet, I still can't film the video until those are done. And now that I am not in the habit at all of writing every day, one of the ideas that I had was maybe for next week's video do like a NaNoWriMo training, where I don't have the full like 2,000 word goal for the day, but maybe I do like 1,000, or each day I scale it up. How many words are the goal for the day? Since if I have any chance at doing NaNoWriMo, I can't just jump in right away from doing no words a day to 2,000 words a day. I have to have some sort of step up in between. But now that I'm even further behind, I have a lot to catch up on my bi-weekly project too. I'm far more behind than I would have liked to be when originally the plan was to get all the chapters that would have been posted during November done ahead of time, so that then I would be focusing solely on my NaNoWriMo project. But since that hasn't happened now, I was already worried about being able to complete NaNoWriMo this year, given my current workload, but we'll see. Now I'm even less prepared. But again, these are the kind of things we can't control. 2020 has been a mess for everyone, and while going into isolation was just a complete uprooting of where I had currently been, that's also pretty common in these current times. It's just to have things completely switch on you in a moment. So if my 2 weeks of isolation ends up being the reasoning for me not completing NaNoWriMo, or not having a solid outline to be prepared for NaNoWriMo, or maybe me missing one of my chapters in my bi-weekly posting, I think that's fair. I don't feel immense guilt from being behind in that, because I tried, I wanted to write in isolation, but I just was not in the headspace to get things done. But I'm here in front of you today to say that I'm committed to at least try and get back on track with what I'm currently doing. Not necessarily catch up everything, because again, I feel forgiven for the 2 weeks where I fell behind, but to just go into NaNoWriMo trying my best. That's all that we can do. 2020, probably one of the hardest years to do NaNoWriMo in. The complete instability of where we are right now, for all I know, I could catch it tomorrow and go back into 2 weeks isolation, but this time I'd be actually sick. So that's a little update of where I've been. I haven't signed up for a consistent posting schedule, so it probably wasn't too odd that I hadn't posted a video yet, but I had intended to. I still feel bad about it because I had videos in the works, but again, that is where we are, and this is where I am at now. So still have hopes for NaNoWriMo, and I will get back to you as the time progresses. But for now, thank you for listening to my update and sort of explanation of where I've been, and maybe my experience in isolation will give me writing fuel and inspiration. Maybe that will be the good that comes out of it, is having a lot to write about and being able to tap into those emotions that were very prevalent during that time. As of today, we are a little over 1 week from the start of NaNoWriMo, and we'll see how much we can prepare in the remaining time. But thank you for watching, and I will see you all with my next video. Bye!